Audio test 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do this. I'm so excited, friends. This is my very first live stream. Welcome, and let's see what we'll do together today. Um, the first question I saw already, but let's say hello to everyone. I see Chip. Hi, Chip. How are you? Thanks for joining. And yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm using OBS Studio, um, and this is connected to my YouTube. I had to activate the live streaming in order to do that. This is my very first live stream, never did it before. And the chat you are seeing next to me is just a window, and I'm doing screen capturing. So I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, but since it's my first live stream. Oh, do you hear me? Yes. I'm too silent. Okay, let's see. Test 1, 2, 3. Now better? Get all up. I'm just trying to figure out how to increase volume. Now echo. Okay. Well, this could end in a disaster. Let's do that together. By the way, I'm not sure if my computer will handle this because the CPU is already at 62%. I'm using video from 2 sources, actually 3 sources. Echo should be gone by now. Okay. No more echo. Perfect. Let's try it this way. I cannot crank it up. I usually have an external microphone. The problem is it's coupled with Bluetooth. And if I do that, it's interfering with my Wi-Fi. I can use that once I have a cable here. I have a raise the volume. Yeah, sorry, I can't do that. There is not much more I can do. Let me see. Okay. Let's test this. I'm going to crank it up now by a few dB. Now 6 dB up. Test 1, 2, 3. Let's see what the chat is saying. Sounds great. Is enough. CPU may just freeze some frames, so no worries. Okay. I increased now the volume by 6 dB. I don't know if it made any difference for you, if I should crank it up more. Volume is fine, I can understand you. Okay, great. Good evening. Look who we have here. Mosel Blues. Delta Golf 1, Juliet Alpha November. Nice to meet you here. So, let's start it with a beer. Cheers, friend. Okay. So everybody can hear me, everybody can see me. Should we start? Then let's address the first question. I'm just assuming you can hear me. If you don't hear me, then give me a note in the chat, okay? So the first question was a version for 15 and 10 meters, I think. Was 15 and 10 meters, yes. So there is one version available, but only as kit. The problem with the higher bands is that the TrueSDX was never intended to serve those bands. It's don't forget, it's a very minimalistic radio. We don't have a preamp on board, so for the um, makers, we made it available, but be aware you don't get the same sensitivity that you would with a board radio, a commercial radio. And because there would probably be a lot of complaints about lacking sensitivity, we said we wouldn't provide this as a built rig. That's the issue here. Because nobody wants to get the complaints, right? I mean, see this as an experimental option. You can expand it. By the way, I can show you that for those of you that don't know. Let me see, activate this cam. You can see my second video. Can you see the display? Yes, you can. And to silence that. In the menu, by the way, excuse this bad video here, because this is a webcam. This is improvised totally. I never streamed before. And here on menu 8.7, you can switch between low, high, and classic. But do this only if you have the right RF board installed. If you buy a completed rig, it should always stay on low. If you add or build your own RF board for high or classic bands, then you need to adjust that here so the rig knows what bands it has. Okay, there I am. Hello to Belgium. Lima Alpha, that's Norway, right? Greetings. Thank you. I'm doing great on the live stream. Glad to hear. Well, we're just here. Let's have a conversation. I cannot offer more. So let's let the questions keep coming. I'm happy. Discussion about comparing with more specialized radio. Yeah. Well, never mind about this video. I mean, I don't doubt that Linus had bad intents with that. He was just comparing, and for him it's probably important to have CW performance, and those values are true. What he compared is true. It's not wrong. The problem is, I think it is an unfair comparison because the TrueSDX can do so much more compared to the QCX. And our focus was not on high performance CW. Okay, I mean, we try to get out of it as much as we can. But the QCX, for example, has this T1, the input transformer, has more analog filtering inside, a fixed CW filter. So, of course, this will be the better CW receiver. Merry Christmas, yes. Any plans for cut streaming? Actually, it is already implemented in the alpha version. The TrueSDX can do that, but at least in the alpha version, but we don't have a tool yet for the PC that can capture the audio. If you have Linux, that might not be a problem. And by the way, even transmission is now possible via cut streaming. Updated manual, or it takes into account all known tweaks. The coil that heated up. Well, manual, let's see. going to switch off the webcam. If you go to the TrueSDX page and go to the assembly page, there you have this instructions. Those are pretty old. I added the T2 mod, which is a link to the forum. Let's click on here. Then this main PCB wasn't changed. The RF PCB for the low bands does not contain this new mod. But yeah, here the high and classical bands RF boards do contain the mod, and the advanced schematic, the more comprehensive schematic by KD4SGE and WA4ITD, they have all the information. They go way beyond what I'm providing. If you go to the filter section, there is somewhere a suggestion. So just go through that. You will learn a lot how the filters work, how the filters are set up, and I think they have done a really good job here. Okay, let me see that I get back to the chat because I don't see it anymore. Yeah, Chip, you're right. He says it's like spending Christmas with all around the world family. That's true. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to Ohio. Is there any test with metal case for TrueSDX to reduce noises and interferences? Actually, no. I didn't do that. Let me tell you a little story. Wait a minute, I'm going to... Let me tell you a little story about the housing. That was also something that I added last minute. Actually, I designed this thing, the USDX, the sandwich, and the basic stacking boards on top of each other concept was kept. And yeah, the thing is, after that I realized, okay, a housing is now hard to do because we have, let me see. We have on 4 sides of the rig, we have stuff to connect. Here's the ISP connector, and we have the top, only the bottom does nothing. So I had to come up with a way to assemble a housing that can do that. And the only thing that came to my mind was this puzzle assembly from all 4 sides. Metal housing is not planned by me, but the good news is the housing has a different license. The housing has CC BY SA, which means everybody can create or change a housing and can publish that, no problem at all. SA stands for share alike. This means if you create a housing, you can use it even commercially. Then you need to share it under the same license. That's the whole thing. But I personally do not have a plan. Maybe the next version, but I don't promise anything. Let me see where I was. Cut streaming, we were there. Merry Christmas from Paris. Nice. I commented on how should now compare the 2 rigs on SSB on 3 more bands. Yeah. Hi John, nice you're here. You know how I recognize John West? He's the guy that has the most hearts from me for his comments. What? Nice, yes, I'm thinking about TrueSDX and Raspberry combo. Well, if you think about the raspberries that I found in the forest, we can do that. Just smear it on there and be happy. Probably not what you thought of, right? Thank you, Michael. Merry Christmas from Pennsylvania. Yeah, Merry Christmas from the depth of Bavaria. Oberpfalz is our region. Um, they are known to be a little bit more grumpy than the rest of the Bavarians. And for their dialect, that sounds like somebody's barking at you. Family is kind of recovering. The problem is, I think now I'm getting it, but that's not to be avoided. I mean, we're a family, we live under one roof, we breathe the same air, we touch the same stuff, we use the same bathrooms, so, But as a great employer, I get sick on my vacation. I will get as a hand-down gift, in other words, RawWaves device, yes. I know the history behind, and that is not supported anymore. My question is, can I still download and upload firmware? Yeah, great question. Yes. The thing is, we never wanted to hurt any customers from anyone. I mean, RawWaves had a bad start with us, and they continued even worse. Even though they tried to do the right thing, they were not very, how should I say? It was on a personal level, what happened. And if you insult me, then there's a point where I say, okay, enough is enough. And that's where we cut all connections and say, okay, we stop the support for you. However, we do not want to punish the customers. We have now locked them out, so they cannot provide any future rigs. They have even published that on their site. By the way, also with a tiny little false information, we did not lock out any other suppliers. It's just that we now can select our suppliers. So RawWaves obviously is not going to provide any further rigs. Sunny is of course providing more rigs, and everybody who wants can still do that, as long as you act within the license. That's the thing here, and that's the reason for all of this. And to answer your question, sorry, I got a bit carried away. Yes, all the old rigs from RawWaves are in the system and will still get firmware updates, no issues. Oh, Merry Christmas from Oscar Zululand. Hi. First-hand UK build, great. Merry Christmas. So I think we have a question. Bandpass filter, which chassis connectors to use on club filters if we make our own? UHF female, BNC female, or N female? Sorry, I don't get that. Which chassis connectors to use on club filters? Sorry, please tell me what you mean by that. I'm not sure. Merry Christmas from, yeah, to Singapore. Great. Yeah, DX Explorer chip has one from RawWaves as well, and you can probably confirm there was no problems, right? I think I'm at the end of the chat, so time for a sip. As long as we are waiting for the chat to... Oh, now I have made the chat disappear again. Yeah, not at all any problems. That's the thing. Delta Echo, that's an SWL call sign. Yeah, nice that SWLs are here as well. I hope you're thinking about getting your license. Ich hoffe, du denkst darüber nach, deine Lizenz zu machen. And while we are waiting, I'm going to show you something. I hope I'm not getting in the way of Adam K6ARK, because what I have here is his pedal and his microphone. We recently got into contact, and even though I saw that on Facebook, that he published that, he said I should try that, because the usual thing is if you have such a pedal 3D printed, it doesn't work very well. Not this one. So he persuaded me to try that. I did that, and I was really pleased to see the results. I mean, have a look inside. I hope you can see that. It's so simple. It's 3 parts basically. I cannot unmount it right now. It's this bottom here. It's the pedal, which is also the spring. He's using this indent to create spring tension, and the cover. And all this is created around this 3.5 millimeter jack, and uses simple set screws, and can also be adjusted, because there is, maybe I can show you. Here. Here he has some flexible parts in there, where this other set screw is coming against, and you can set the tension. It's really cool, and this pedal really works. You can do a live demo if you like. Okay. No, I messed it up. If you don't mount it the right way. I'm going to set it to practice mode. Can you see everything? Can you hear that? So he did a really good job with that. I really like it. I even like it more than my expensive palm key. It's a little bit hard to say that because I know the maker as well. Okay, so let's go through the chat again. Oh yeah, the aspects. HP3 XBA Fred says he wanted to thank for addressing several aspects around the rig itself, antenna pole, etc. Yeah, this all was a learning experience for me as well. Of course, if you have a rig, you need an antenna, right? And I, yeah, got to the Uniform 01 antenna like the Virgin to the Child. It happened to be that the creator of this thing was in my club, and he came to me and asked, "Hey, couldn't we do something together?" And of course, Tom is a great guy. He has great ideas. He has great experience. Basically, everything I learned about antennas, I learned from Tom, Delta Juliet 5 Romeo Echo. The local club, our local club, Uniform 01, is a really great club because we have a lot of great people there that help each other. And I'm not sure if that was to be seen in the 60-meter Envis video. I sent out with my smartphone in our WhatsApp group, hey, please come here for a test, and I couldn't even see that it was out, so I was not in great hope, but it made it out somehow out of the valley, and immediately half of the club was there trying to make the test possible. Which is what you saw in the video. Merry Christmas to Ontario, Canada. Great, thank you. This is useful, yeah. Is it possible to make a 6-bender or 7-bender again? But we use smaller toroids. Smaller toroids. Okay. Here I need to go a little bit further. We have plans. But probably not for the TrueSDX. I do not want to tell you too much about this. Guido and me are talking about, we are not planning yet, we are talking about the next big thing and just discussing ideas. And the next thing definitely will have all bands, because I'm annoyed as well by the thing we have, the limitation we have now. Smaller toroids are not possible, at least not that I know, because they are already at the limit. You can see that they get pretty hot when you transmit 5 watts over them. That would be probably possible if we limit ourselves in power. Excuse me. So we are making club use bandpass filters 80, 40, 30, 20, 17, 15, 12, 10, so we don't overload the radio. UHF female, BNC female, chassis connection or any suggestions? I still don't get it, because if you make custom filters, you need to switch them, and the firmware doesn't support that. What kind of connector you're using is basically completely, it doesn't matter at all. I mean, you need to choose the connector you work with. I personally prefer SMA for the size of this small rig. I thought it fits. I know many people complain about it, but fortunately we have this adapters that do not make stuff bigger. Yeah. But BNC seems to be the standard. I mean, N connection, or yeah, N connection is more UHF stuff. PL seems to be pretty common, but I think PL norm is way too big for this tiny rig. I'm still not sure what you're up to, so maybe you could be more clear about that. But I hope I hope you're not trying to change the hardware and call that TrueSDX. That would be a problem, because this would be a license violation. Dwayne45, watching only, 23 likes, don't forget to like. Oh yeah, that would be nice. Leave some comments, like, and if you're not a subscriber of the channel. By the way, thanks for, let me see, 4,210 subscribers. Thanks for that. So if we get to 10,000 subscribers, I think I need to do something stupid or crazy. Happy New Year. Papa uniform. Great. Yeah, Jan, Merry Christmas. I'm curious about how you learned such good American English, both technical and common vernacular. Did you work in the USA a few years? No. The story about my English is funny. I was at, how do you call that? Not high school, gymnasium. It's in German. I learned English there, and I watched television. I watched a lot of television with native speakers. That's probably how I got it, and it got polished in my cooperation with Guido, because he's also talking English, and of course we are here in a region where we have the how do you call that, military training areas, Grafenwöhr and Hohenfels nearby. So we have a lot of Americans. I have a lot of American friends. This is how that goes. But thanks for recognizing that. My problem is I'm still missing a lot of vocabulary. I could express myself in German way better than I can do that in English. I can hear it. What can you hear? Thanks for the like. Yep. Merry Christmas. Did my reverse beacon tests with my TrueSDX last night. Performed much better than I could have hoped. Yeah. That's the thing. In practice, it works really good. Forget about the theory. That's also my thing. I'm annoyed or actually bored by theory. Mostly, I mean, you need some kind or some level of theory, but practice is more fun always. I enjoy when I can solder something together and make it work, and if it burns, then make it work again. That's the fun part. If you really try it out in practice, you can do way more than we actually do. I think the PA connection, I'm not sure about you, maybe you could leave a comment about that or say in the chat what you think about that, but the PA connection was born just because I had a PA and I wanted to use it. But does anybody use that? I mean, it's a QRP radio. Do we need that? Did you try to print the case with a 3D printer with a resin bath instead of filament? I can report that the front plate is absolutely perfect. Sides and bottom are less great. Yeah. I do have a resin printer. Give me a short break, please, because I really see that my wife got me. There it is. Okay. Sorry. I have a resin printer. I was kind of a fan of it for the details you could get out of it if you do the right thing, but I was annoyed about all the post work you need to do. For all of you that do not know resin printers are also pretty cheap, provide very high resolution, like layer heights between 500ths and even 200ths of a millimeter, and they create very high detailed models. If you have normal eyes, you can usually not separate them from injection molded parts. The problem is resin is fragile. Usually there are resins which I used mainly that are tougher. ABS-like resins I used the Siraya blue stuff, Siraya, what was it, Tenacious, a mixture of that, but I was never satisfied with the mechanical properties. That's one thing, and the other thing is all the mess and the chemical smell, and I didn't like that, because you need to support everything. You cannot print it flat because the suction forces are too high, and it will peel away from the bed usually. So you need to print everything in an angle. This means everything needs supports, and those supports need to be cleaned afterwards. Those chemicals are poisonous, so you need to wear gloves. You need to make sure that it doesn't drip anywhere, and then you need to clean it in alcohol. And no, sorry, I don't like resin printers anymore. I still have it, but I don't use it anymore. Did you try? Yeah, that was it. Thanks for sharing the pedal. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, Adam. Cool that you're here. The pedal is really cool, and I'm still waiting for feedback on. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that. I do not talk about it. Okay, about the mono pedal. Um, I have trouble with my TrueSDX. It worked great, then audio got hot, then stopped working and went dead. I do not know what to do, I think. I really like the radio. Okay, Ken, the first thing, where did you get it? If it's from Sunny, then please contact her and she will probably be able to send you a substitute. Or, oh, excuse me, I really recognize that my wife got me. um, the first thing, Ken, I would suggest to come to the forum, describe exactly what happened, what's the symptoms. Maybe if you have experience, if you have a solder iron, we can fix that together. If not, then contact Sunny. Manuel, did you have tried FT8CN with TrueSDX? What is that? I have no idea. I have tried FT8, but I don't know FT8CN. Sorry, I don't know that. Thanks for the answer. Yeah, you're welcome. That's why we're here, right? I'm trying to answer as good as possible. The thing is, even though I think we just have a few viewers, let me see, 51, and I cannot imagine how it would be if there would be thousands. Then the chat would be flowing and I wouldn't be able to answer anything. So I'm really trying here to answer every single question. I got it from AliExpress. Yeah, probably from Sunny. And if you contact Sunny, the seller, then she will probably help you. If something went south without you having done anything bad, she will substitute it. That's no question, of course. Sounds like he's talking about external filters for when multiple rigs are in close proximity during field day. Ah, I see. You're sharing one antenna? No. Beer drinking contest on 10,000. Okay, I would do that earlier. And you would lose anyway, because I'm a German. There's a Bavarian saying, you know, a Bavarian without a beer belly is considered handicapped. Dwayne, the other add-on boards, the low, high, and classic options. That was brilliant. Now I get one that I can use more as technician, but I keep the original for when I take my general next month. Yeah, do that, please. I mean, you should get absolutely the highest license you can get. I mean, I see that all the time. We have so many brilliant guys around us that are simply stuck by their entry level license, and they could do it. They just have no time or whatever, and they cannot participate in certain events that we are doing, like our 60-meter stuff. That's unfortunate, and so I can only encourage you to make the higher license. I'm not so sure about your license classes, but I think it is very similar to here. I dropped the PA connection on this radio. Yeah, thanks. That's what I thought, because that was a, sorry, I don't know if YouTube will censor that, but that was a brain fart. For me, I used it, I think, 1 or 2 times and never used it again. I've now changed all my shack setup again, because initially I'm not only the developer of TrueSDX, I'm also a radio amateur and I'm using also commercial stuff. And at one point I was selling my IC7300, which was a really great rig, and bought an IC705, which is also a really great rig. And the idea was to have only one rig that covers it all. Then I bought a PA for that, and then I needed to plug. Always when I went portable, I needed to unplug everything. When I went back, I needed to connect everything, and I was annoyed by that. So I have bought another IC7300 now again, and my IC705 is just for portable use. That's the idea about that, and yeah, this is why I had a PA sitting around, and just because of that PA, I connected that TrueSDX to it, or wanted to connect the TrueSDX to it, but it's stupid anyway because we have no kind of protection. It goes straight to the processor, you know. Yeah, not so clever. Thank you for the efforts. I just purchased one and I'm enjoying it. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Really like to hear that. I recently saw a lot of videos with people having fun of with the radio outdoors, and I appreciate that seriously because there was a time where you could read only complaints, and that's also in the nature of humans. Usually, you only get feedback when something goes wrong, but positive feedback is also something very nice. I've used the PA with the rig without problems. Helped me to get a signal out despite the Berlin backyard noise floor. I get it. Okay, maybe if we do that in a future rig, then it will be more protected. Chemical smell from resin. Oh, oh, I'm a little bit behind. I need to catch up. Remember we are guys solder with lead. Yeah, I have no problem soldering with lead, but the chemical smell of the resins, that's a whole different level. I mean, lost 5 volts. Ah, yeah, okay, that's no problem. Um, Usually it will be the 7805. Um, didn't you post that already in the forum? My choice is BNC. Our club uses mostly PL259, but I prefer BNC. I will use BNC, not change a radio, making filters for multi-radio users in a small area. I get it. Yeah. Use whatever you are used to use. K6RK, where can I find the STL files? Printables, yeah. Let me show you that. I'm going to shout out to Adam, printables.com, and search for his name, and there you will find it. There's where I get it from, and really great design. Here you can see it. Yeah, that's the bottom, the levers. He has even a version with bigger levers, and the top. And it's a little bit tricky to assemble that, but I went through his instructions, details. He has a very good shopping list. I needed, unfortunately, to change all that to German. Oh, you can see that. Oh my god. Sorry. I was talking and not even watching at the chat, you know. No. Yeah. There we go. See, this is the printables site ran by Prusa Printers. This is his model. You can see his name. Here you can see the description, what you need to do. And here's a nice shopping list. And as I said, I needed to change all that to German suppliers so I could get it. But thank you, Adam. Thank you for sharing this. And as we should do that, if we like something, we should post a like. And I did that. Okay. Thank you. The best 3D printed pedal design I have ever seen. Thanks for sharing it with us. And I mean it, Adam. I mean it. Thank you. Okay. Back to chat. Got my so stoked. My gold battery. Take your time. It's perfect number of viewers, so you get used to the live streams. Then you may want to do this more often. FT8CN is a free Chinese Android application to make FT8 contacts. Very cool. Okay, so I need to try that then. No, I have no experience with that. I'm sorry. Never heard of it, never tried it. But I'm going to write that down. How do you contact Sunny? How did you buy it? Usually if you bought it over AliExpress, you can use the AliExpress chat, then they have your order number at hand immediately and will know what to do. Are you on Facebook? If not, she published her email address very recently. Okay, Facebook is lagging. Let me see. I'm sorry. Hey, DL2MAN does a Christmas stream. Did you know that? Okay, sorry, I cannot find it right now, but she announced it somewhere. There it is. I'm going to make my webcam disappear. It's youngq8866@163.com. Yankee Alpha November Golf Quebec India Uniform 8866@163.com. Okay, I hope that solves the... Wait a minute, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it to the chat. I think that's easier. Contact Sunny. There you go. Yeah. Nice MTRs are awesome. I do not know what you're talking about. MTR. Lived in Hirschau. Yeah. That's nearby. Not very far. It's in fact the same community where I live. Adam made really cool pedal, yeah. Must practice beer drinking as Chip, don't make me do that. Don't make me do that. By the way, that's my friendly reminder. It's then time for the next beer. Okay. Tech tip guy, I'm having a problem with my TrueSDX where I am not in practice mode and have it connected to a dummy load. I have a 1-to-1 SWR, but 0 watt of power. What could be causing this? Okay, if you have 0 SWR, usually, 1 SWR, usually if you really have 0 watts, it would not show 1 SWR, it would show something like NAN0. Sorry. What could be causing this? I would look around T1, T2 for correct solder connections. I would check if power goes out by external measurement. Yeah, confirm by external measurement that you have power, or if you don't have power. If you don't have power, it's probably something around the PA FETs. If you do have power externally, then it's probably something around T1, T2, because yeah, they are tricky. They need to be in the right order. Maybe you can have a look here. There you can see that it is critical the direction, but I really thought it was impossible to wind them wrong, because there's only one way where the wires are not crossing each other. But people seem to manage to still mess them up. So it's another possibility if you made one in the wrong direction that you have problems. Okay. Just in time. I hope your wife and daughter are feeling better. Yes, they are feeling better, but I really see it that, well, I can feel it, that I'm going to be the next one. So this is why I wanted to do the stream now. Probably in a few days I cannot talk anymore. Will take my exam as well in February in Switzerland. Great. 40 meters, yeah. 60 meters, I'm a lot on 60 meters. 40 meters is actually a great all-round band. I like really the 40 meter band. To see you there. Kirby used to make really good outdoor videos in CB and IC705. Andy Kirby, okay. You are awesome. I'm not sure if I meant, but thanks. I'm trying hard. Must print the CW pedal someday. Yeah, please do that. Adam shared such a great design with us. It's really, it's brilliant. And by the way, I don't know if you know that, but I do CAD design for a living, and I really appreciate his design. Thank you, Adam. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, hello from Charlie Tango. Greetings to Charlie Tango. My audio is low. Again? We hope that is a Hefeweizen. Bah, no. Thanks for the info. I will try to contact Sony. Yeah, great. Okay. So I'm back to the bottom of the chat again. That's nice. So I can open myself another beer. Hefeweizen. I don't like that. That's a Bavarian thing, I agree, but I'm not so much into the classical German beer like Helles, Weizen. I don't like Helle. They are too, how should I say? They are too empty in taste. I mean, I can drink them when I'm on a festival or something, but usually I'm into craft beer, as I already told you. I'm going to drink a Hopfenstopfer Citra Ale now. Citra, I don't know if you're into beer. Citra is a flavor hop from the United States with a very unique profile. It's very recognizable. From the German beer styles that are available, I'm most into Pilsner beer, because I'm a hop junkie. Simple as that. Cheers. I bake beer bread with Hefeweizen. Yeah, you can do that. Hast du einen Link für ein passendes Akku-Batteriegehäuse plus zum Hefeweizen? No, no Hefeweizen, man. If I have a link to a matching battery housing, yeah, battery housing, that's another thing. I can show you what I designed. This is my battery housing. You can see it here. It's basically this bottom with the dovetail and this battery housing, and there's this 18650 empty housing. This can be printed if you like. It is published. Let me see. If you go to printables, okay. If you go to printables and search for DL2MAN, you will find me. and this is the housing for the TrueSDX, and most people don't find it. It's a little bit confusing, but if you go to Files, there you see the bottom cover, the walls, speakering, and so on. And here on the bottom is the bottom cover battery and the battery slider. And at details, I even left a link to the housing, to the battery housing I was using. So if you want to build it yourself, here's everything you need. If you don't have the possibility to print it, then you go to my page, go to the where to buy page, and there you find all the links to Sunny. Here's a pro tip. Every link here is Sunny, every link. We have the AliExpress link, we have the eBay link, we have the online shop link, and we have the Amazon US link. And if you buy it from their online shop, it will be cheapest because they don't have the platform fees. It's as simple as that. So now let's have a look at the product list, and you can see you can buy the complete TrueSDX housing, which I published for $24. And on top of that, she is providing David's design DL1DN, also a friend of mine, and he is using three, what was it, 14500, which are AA sized but 3-volt lithium batteries. And in his case, it looks a little bit more like a handheld because it's not on the bottom of the TrueSDX, but it's on the side, so it can be used as a handheld. Look for QRP Lifestyle channel. Here's a video on this housing. Sun is also offering that. So you have both options. You can either print them, or I think he didn't publish the housing print files, but you can print mine for free, or you can purchase his, or you can also purchase mine, whatever you like. Okay, now let's have a look back to the chat. Low audio. Oh, I'm sorry. Porter Stout IPA. Yeah. Porter, not so much my thing. I'm drinking them meanwhile, just to expand my horizon. But I'm not so much fan of it. I'm usually the IPA guy. What's my next project? Usually the projects find me, not I do find them. My next project, I have no clue, seriously. No clue. Great radio. Thank you, Manuel. I'm assembling now my high band board. Hope to use it before New Year. Yeah, that would be great. By the way, don't be too disappointed. As I said, the high band board is a little bit, yeah, on the high bands you will lose sensitivity, or you will not have enough sensitivity. However, when the band is open, you are still able to do QSOs, no problem at all. And at that point, I just wanted to make you also aware of a certain remark in the schematic, which is very important. Give me 1 second. Let's go to the assembly page. Let this be gone. There we are. For example, classic band boards. This is a very important note many people don't seem to read. The low amount of toroid windings makes tuning of the filters more important than ever, especially second harmonic. Excuse me. Especially second harmonic notch needs to be carefully tuned with nano-VNA. Example, on 10 meters, the difference between 4 turns distributed equally and 4 turns compressed is more than 5 MHz different in notch position. And I read in the forum all the time that people are blowing their fats, and this is the reason they don't pay attention to that. At least I assume that is the reason, because it's extremely critical. Just 4 turns, imagine that. Compressed or spread makes a huge difference. And what you need to know is with the FTT 86256, you are not getting the high efficiency that the TrueSDX is known for. Okay, 90-minute dogfish head. Okay, whatever that means. Do you like your beer warm or cold? What is that question? Um, I'm not sure if I should feel insulted now. Beer is usually drank cold. There are certain beer styles that require different temperature than others. And on a good beer, there is a recommended drinking temperature. So the beer I'm drinking, yes, 8 degrees Celsius, hoppala, there, 8 degrees Celsius is recommended. Your battery housing is working great for me. Resin printed, okay. I mean, I don't say the technology isn't working, and I'm just saying I don't get along with it, because when I'm ready with my 3D prints, I'm ready with my 3D prints, and with resin printing, the fun starts. I have some resin printed stuff, but as I said, I'm not a fan of that. But thanks, I'm glad it works in resin printing as well. I like my beer warm as I drink 3 beers in 1 glass. Okay. Well, depends on the glass size. In German we have Mass. You know what a Mass is? You ever seen pictures from the Oktoberfest? Those huge glasses? Also 3 of the beers I have here would fit in there. A Mass is 1 liter. I may be wrong, but I just remembered that it was either you or some other video I've seen about the wrong power output reading issue. Reinstalling the bootloader and firmware fixed the issue. Nah, that was the splattering issue. The thing that I think Kevin, the old tech guy, discovered. We had a little beef about that until I figured out that he is really saying the truth, and I had an affected rig and I needed to figure out what's going on, and discovered by accident that it was related to the bootloader. Skull, okay. Skull, that's my keyword. This makes me miss my TrueSDX. I completely screwed up the build. I have no idea what I did wrong. I think I just need to program it. I've had it for a year. That's too bad. Don't you have friends? Don't you have... Sorry, that was a bad question. Don't you have fellow hams in your club that can help you? I mean, what we did here for the local guys that were not so experienced, we even provided guided soldering at our club station. I mean, usually the guys that organize that are more fit in electronics and they can help you. At least this is what we do here. And I would ask for help. If you can't do it alone, ask for help. I didn't teach everything myself. I, of course, had help. Somebody taught me how to solder, somebody taught me how to troubleshoot. And so get help. That would be my advice here. Ingo says, thanks. Are files for K6ARK pedals available to us? You're a little bit late to the party. Yes, they are. I'm going to show that again just because I really like them. So let's go to the printables file, printables.com. Okay, and let's search for. Adam said we should look for his call sign, K6ARK. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. K6ARK key. There you can download it, all the STL files and all the great shopping list. My TrueSDX worked perfectly till recently. Only recently I didn't receive anything anymore. It is still able to send. What could be the cause? Would it be difficult to fix or should I buy a new kit? There is no such thing as an unfixable TrueSDX. You just need to have the right tools, and you need to be logical when troubleshooting. Receiver, well, why not? We can go through that real quick. Let me see. Practical thing that I already have the board open. So the first thing to check, ignore what bands it is. It is always the same. Use an oscilloscope, create a signal that you put into the antenna connection, then check if that signal is there with an oscilloscope and then follow the path. The path is through the transformer into the relay of whatever band you are using, through the filter. It's a little bit hard to follow that, I get it, but antenna out. Now I need to look what we are doing here. Antenna goes to low pass filter out, through the low pass filter in to RF. RF is this PA FET, and the RF signal is also here on the inter-PCB connection, so we need to jump to the next PCB. If you can track it to here, it's not on the RF board. Then it goes further on the main board. It continues on the main board, sorry. See, that is what I meant. I'm missing the vocabulary. Here, it comes in, RF. And let me see, what was it? Didn't have a look in a long time here. Must be somewhere around here. No. RX. Yeah, we have the RX-TEAG switch, sorry. RF comes in here and is switched through to RX or blocked while transmission. So it's going through here. This could be one part that is defective, the Q1, the RX-TEAG switch. Then it goes in here, in the mixer. Yeah, sorry. That was the USB chip. I'm so stupid today. It comes in here. Here it is mixed with the clock signal, and basically from here on it is already audio domain. So you should be able, here on this side you should be able to see RF still, and on this side it's already audio domain, so it's a low frequency signal on those 4 pins. They are amplified here, and here you have a strong audio signal, and they go directly into the Atmega. You should be able to follow that with an oscilloscope easily. Okay, I hope that wasn't too complicated and understandable in my Dinglish. Let's see. If an amplifier chip or circuit were added before the board, onboard speaker, would it work better? Yes, definitely. But I think this would be still the wrong speaker. But I know of people that built their own active amplifier in there. One even built in a Bluetooth module. Do that. I asked for a mass beer, thinking it was more beer, not 1 liter. Okay. Yard of beer. Okay. Can do that. 2 beer or not 2 beer? That's the question. Yeah. That was the one. Yes. Anybody live in the DFW area that is smart on flashing these? It turns on and makes noise. I'll surely ask for what is DFW? It's a German city? No. Have you considered creating TrueSDX repair flowchart? Perhaps it could be done as group project in the forum. Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Um, any help is appreciated. If you want to lead such a project, please do that. I never considered it. Actually, you need to know I'm a lazy guy. It's easy for me to talk. So I can sit here and talk all evening long. Give me just enough beer and I will talk. The issue is if you need to write something down and not make it chaotic. Look at my page, especially the antenna section. If I now read it a few months later, then I see that I assumed things that happened before that you need to check them. So you need to go along in the same order I wrote them. But if you jump in, cross over, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And this is my problem. I need to sort everything, and I'm not the guy that can do documentation very well. I'm also cheating my way around at work. I hope my boss is not watching. Thanks again, Manuel. I started from scratch in this hobby for less than a year. Your project was perfect learning path. Teach me to go through soldering, case printing, antenna. Yeah, that's so great. Uh, thank you. Really, thanks for sharing your experience. I mean, it was meant to be such a learning project, and I'm really happy to hear that you were not afraid to try it and learn something. Um, I hope this sparked the fire and you will now continue to build, and maybe in a few years we will see a project from you and the world will be excited. I hope. Tommy boy, jawohl. Very nice emergency box video. The box already in your car? No, not yet. It's right next to me here. Because I'm still missing the headphones. And I also printed K6ARK microphone for that, because usually I thought, or initially I thought I didn't need it because, yeah, there's an onboard microphone. But I put in there a pedal, K6ARK pedal, and the practical thing is I can now just use the same 3.5 millimeter connector and have the microphone. So, and it's even smaller than the pedal. Look at that. So I put that in there as well. Thanks for the explanation of the schematic. Yeah, sorry it was not as professional as it should be. I brought my TrueSDX on a couple of SOTA activations and worked both 20 and 40 meter SSB. We'll build the high band RF board very soon. Okay, do that, but as I said, be aware that you will miss some sensitivity. Dwayne DFW Dallas Fort Worth. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm not so convenient. Not so familiar with your abbreviations, but I'm sure there are lots of hams in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas area, because I even in Germany heard about that. Maybe you can ask for help in my forum if we don't find anyone here. Ask in my forum for help, ask on Facebook for help, or I don't know how you're organized. I would be interested in that. Because here in Germany we are in the DARC, Deutscher Amateurradio Club, German Amateur Radio Club, and we have chapters. So every region has their own chapter, and uh, so when you're a radio amateur, usually you are a member of the German Amateur Radio Club and member of the local chapter, sub-chapter of the German Amateur Radio Club. And this is, we meet at least once a month, and usually even more often. We have a club station where people that cannot afford ham radio can do their stuff, or they have their antennas that I could not build up here, like monoband beams and stuff like that. So don't you have a club? I don't know about your system in the United States. Would be interested in that. Manuel, I must leave, but I come back later, watch the ending. I'm not sure how long this will still go. We are already live 1.5 hours, and I'm really recognizing my nose now. Chip, thanks for watching. Will there ever be VHF board for TrueSDX 8 meter, 6 meter, 4 meter? Is it possible? A clear no. Sorry. The mixer is too slow for that. Cannot handle it. In theory, well, okay, 8 meter, 6 meter, 4 meter should be possible. But we are on the very edge, and we are even at lower sensitivity, but we have no plans to provide that. And I have to admit, I have no clue about VHF, UHF, PCB design, because in that then you need to do strip line stuff, and I have no clue how to do that. Good evening, Achim. Nice to see you. QRP Lifestyle, finally here. Ah, I already promoted your battery housing because somebody asked for it. Hi, David, and cheers. David is also a beer fan. Now that we're all together, I might ask, would it be, I don't know, would you like to see us, because we are talking all the time and we thought we could do a beer tasting together. Is this something you can do on a ham radio channel, or would this be not so pleasant? I'm not sure. So leave some comments. I would be... Oh, Felix, cool. Oh my God. All the guys are there. Yeah, now some people are there that I know personally, and it gets even more embarrassing. Please let the questions come. Okay, I'm going to have a short break here, and we'll be back in a few seconds. So I'm back. Sorry, I need to take care about my nose. James is writing, he's tasting beer on channels all the time. So are those ham radio channels? I'm a little bit out of ideas what I can do. I have to admit. We have pretty much addressed everything here. Oh yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the fake rigs. David, obviously I cannot write you on WhatsApp when I'm on a live stream. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the TrueSDX cloning thing. Let's do a TrueSDX QRP contest. I have no audio. Sorry, I don't speak Spanish. Mostly ham radio. Okay, let's do a TrueSDX QRP contest. That's actually a great idea, but somebody needs to organize that. I'm not subscribed to any beer channels. Yeah, me neither. I just drink beer and I enjoy it. Are you aware that the 4SQRP T41 project, similar SDR project with more capable processor, I think? No, I'm not aware of that. Can you maybe give a quick outline of which bands are covered by which TrueSDX board? Yeah, that's no big deal. The answer is on my page. At the assembly page, when you scroll down to the alternative band setups, you can see that low bands is doing 20, 30, 40, 60 and 80 meters. High bands is doing 10, 12, 15, 17 and 20 meters. And classic is doing all the shortwave, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, but without the WARC bands. It's as simple as that. DX beer will be good video. Yeah, DX beer. Gracias por tu excelente trabajo on TrueSDX. I don't speak Spanish, but I do understand that. Thank you for your excellent work on TrueSDX. Ya está funcionando ahora. It works? Sorry, don't speak Spanish. Fuller ESP is great DX beer for me. Okay, I do speak German. Was ist die maximale Voltzahl, die das Rig verträgt? Ich habe zwei S-Lipos vom AC-Auto, die ich zusammenschalten könnte. 2 mal 7,2. Oh. Voll geladen, 7,4. Okay. He's asking for the maximum voltage rating. In theory, we can handle up to 16 volts. I've written that somewhere here on manual. Maximum 16 volts. I determined that by looking at the data sheet of the voltage regulator. And when you're at 16 volts, it's already heating up pretty much. So I wouldn't go that, but it can handle it. if you need to do that, do it, but be careful and really look at the voltage regulator, the 7805 that's in there. Yeah. Come on, load. So typical. This one here. This is the limiting factor. And think about higher voltage means higher output power. This means also that at some point your PA FET will get overloaded. How do you think the bootloader caused splatter? That's an interesting question. I have no answer to that. I have really no answer to that. I just realized um, the problem was there at one rig, as you saw me in the video. Then before I could start troubleshooting, I reflashed everything and it was gone. Guido could probably explain a little bit better. He explained it to me. He suggested actually to reinstall bootloader to check bootloader because it could cause that if there would be a wrong fuse settings especially. I have no clue. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a software guy. I have to pass that one. I'm sorry. Sunny is Sunny going to build a high band for sale? Completely no. We already answered that. This is not going to happen because she is not. Yeah, basically, we know it's poor in performance, the higher bands, because we are missing the preamp. It was never meant to be on the higher bands, and on the higher bands we need a preamp. TrueSDX doesn't have that. So you buy that and most likely people are going to say, oh, it's not sensitive. And yeah, we know it's not sensitive. So we leave it to the experimenters to work with that and not buy a completed rig. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but it's about what's the word? Now I'm missing a word. Accountability. Yeah. I have assembled a high band kit. It receives fine, but when I send after 30 seconds it freezes. Sometimes it restarts. After times I have to turn off the power. After 30 the same thing happens again. Is it really a matter of time or does it freeze before? I would suggest to reinstall firmware. That's the first thing. And the next thing I would suggest is, yeah, do a reset by pressing the rotary encoder while powering up the rig. I won't do that because then I need to restore my other settings, but that's a full reset. If that does not work, I would check that sounds a little bit like RF is getting in somewhere. So try using ferrites to block your USB cable and your DC cable, I would suggest. And of course, something that is ignored very often, common mode currents. So if you have an antenna like a dipole without a common mode choke, then you're most likely running in such problems. The same goes for end-fed halfways without coax cable on the ground that act as counterpoise and common mode choke. Look at common mode currents. Reinstall the bootloader. Okay, so then yeah, look for common mode currents and block your DC and USB cable, I would suggest. Um, the problem is it's not shielded, the rig. We know that, so you easily running in such problems. Step down converter. Camworks is asking if he should use or could use a step down converter, and asked if it would make noise in the rig. The issue is there is not the step down converter. They are all different. Some make noise or some are noisier than others. So all I can do is suggest to try it. Very early in this project, I even made an experiment with regulated, not a voltage regulator, not a simple 7805, but a voltage regulator for 5 volts, and it made noise. But try it. RP2030 based USDX experiments look very interesting to me as well. Maybe TrueSDX next generation. Okay, I'm now going to let something out about the TrueSDX version 2 or whatever it's being called then. Guido and me definitely will use the RP2030 as next platform. Happy holidays. Oh, Radio Prepper, cool. Greetings. Please turn the sound up a little bit. Sorry, I can't do that. I'm trying. There it is. I can crank up. So now I'm at 12 dB. I hope this helps a little bit. How is it? Test 1, 2, 3. Now the reply would be you're 5 and 9. 5 and 9. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Il ne peut pas le régleur plus haut. My French is... my French is even worse than my Spanish. You sound good. Okay, thank you. Do you think adding anti-static discharge devices would improvise long-term reliability? And if so, where would you add them and what would work well? On the antenna, I do not see a solution. Yeah, Greg, thanks for joining us. That's an interesting question. Yes, I have that on my list, but I'm not so sure where I would add them. There are these, how do you call them? I saw them once in a microcontroller project. Ferrite beads, I think. Ferrite beads. You can put them on the processor legs and they will provide a certain resistance to ground. They act as capacitors and will have a certain resistance to ground, I think. I think we should work with them, but so far the next generation is not on paper yet. It's just a collection of ideas. So this is why I didn't want to talk about it, because I didn't want to put Guido and me under pressure on this. Because believe it or not, this project has cost a lot of time, a lot of free time, a lot of family time, and is still costing up to this day, because you need to follow all the uh, forum postings, the Facebook, the YouTube, and yeah, I'm actually not finding the time uh, to design something new. That's the whole thing. And yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your videos, Jill. Is it Gil? Jill? Um, really looking forward to that, because yeah, I watched your video. I think it was your video on the QCX back then, and I was really excited to see your style. I really like that. Best solution for noise out of the OLED on higher bands, and sound is better now. Thank you. Um, I don't think we will use OLEDs on the next rig, because OLED is noisy, OLED is tiny, and I think we are, yeah, I don't know what we are going to use. This is actually some discussion. You're welcome, Jill. Thank you. This is actually a discussion between Guido and me. What are we going to use? And I think we are even going to involve Sunny, what is available. Um, then we try stuff, because I don't know. I think LCD, that's too old school, and when you want to do something like waterfall, also your lust. I don't think we are going to use color display, because color display always uses more power. I don't want a display where you need background illumination, like it is LCD, yeah. For LCD, you usually need background illumination, and I don't like that. I still want to keep the uh, what we have now. The now I lost my words. I need remember water. Mm. I want to keep the specs, the profile, as before. So very low power consumption, very small footprint. Make it even, try to make it smaller, or keep at least the same size. Maybe change the how to use factor. I don't know. I'm not there yet. And maybe it. Oh, why not OLED? Because it's noisy and small. Um, Even though we have deactivated the charge pump, which is usually responsible for the noise in the OLED, it's still noisy. You can hear, especially on the higher bands, you can hear the OLED even without charge pump. The only thing the radio is missing is a strong case, but that can be fixed. Yeah, I agree. I have seen case designs from metal, but not a single one has provided them to the public. And or I mean, I've seen drawings, but I have not seen a ready one. The next thing I would, I think, design to fit in a extruded case. Hmm. Yeah, David and me were, or David was telling me all the time that he wanted to do a CNC milled case. That's on his to-do list, but that's not too easy, because of the thing I've told you before. There is, we have on every side basically there are connections, and the PCBs need somehow to be inserted in that housing. So this is something to solve here. This is why I came up with this housing design. Avoid using Nixie tubes. Are those kind of displays? I don't know. I use Hammond cases, cast aluminium. Okay. But how do you get the TrueSDX PCBs in there? Shame they don't do the super reflective Motorola LCDs anymore. Yeah. Super high contrast display. Yeah, we need to look out. I mean, I have a display here somewhere that was sent to me by Stefan DC8LZ. That is a e-ink display, but they are probably too slow. Yeah, I have one here. See this? That's the cool about those e-inks. Even if you remove the voltage, they still keep what's written on there. But they are very, very slow. That's the issue. So waterfall could be a problem. Okay, so a little bit of statistics of the stream. It's now active for almost 2 hours. We have lost no frames so far. My CPU is still at 60%. And so far we do not seem to have any interruption. That's good. I think I would like to come to an end now. If there's not any more questions from your side. And I don't know, is this something you could imagine that we do more often, or should we wait another year? Do we plan waterfall on the next trick? It's not clear yet. We even planned it, to be honest, in the current TrueSDX, but it's a little bit of, yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous to try it on the OLED. Do we plan that? It is definitely on the want to have list, but not on the will for sure happen list. Yes, I'm telling Guido always when I'm doing serious RF work, I'm always grabbing my icon. Why? Because I like to see what's next to me. Yeah. VA7BC is writing he likes the current design as it's inexpensive. He throws it in his car and live in an area where there is a lot of theft from auto. Okay, it gets stolen. That's true. It is inexpensive, and that's the reason we designed it. And I think the design will stay as it is anyway. I mean, you can still buy it. If when there's a version 2, it will be for sure more expensive. It will be for sure more advanced. It will have more features. But I think we should and will keep the original version, so you have that fallback option if you like. This is golden, but then your family and your time are also golden, so we will be happy with that. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Red black ink display a few years ago, about 30 seconds refresh rate. The monochrome ones can be much faster. Okay, that's a good hint. Would like to do such a live talk soon again. Okay, nice to hear. In my humble opinion, a large screen is a liability. Help me with the wording. What do you mean, a liability? possible to use a smartphone as display, maybe only for the waterfall? Yes. Initially, we planned the cut streaming thing, and we wanted to have an application browser based. I mean, if we just had someone who would program that, because Guido is also out of time, and that's the main issue right now, the time. We don't have enough time that we can do everything we want to do. That's the thing here. As I said, the cut streaming is already available in the TrueSDX, but we don't have an application for that. And the initial idea was to do that browser-based, so you can, of course, do that also on your smartphone. Thank you for joining us, Ken. Would shielding change how it performs? I'm not so sure. I've tried some shielding in between the PCBs when I was doing some troubleshooting, but I couldn't see any noticeable difference. Once a month for a Q&A would be good, okay, but only if you have the spare time. Your family and your personal interest should take precedence over Q&A. If we have such high demand, of course we can do that. I mean, once a month is not so wild, but I don't think we can fill that. More fragile, more surface to hit and break. Okay, I see, I get it, yeah. That's true, what you're saying, but a larger display also helps in better visibility. So we need to find the right compromise. I mean, if you look at that, click, from a size perspective, in comparison here, I think this could be somehow fit, and if you choose the design around that, I don't know, I'm not so sure if this would be so bad. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining the live stream. Now I need to look how many we are. 44 right? No, 50. Okay, still 50. Still everyone there. That's crazy, guys. Don't you have lives to live? I'm not so interesting. Okay. There we are. Okay, then after 2 hours and 4 minutes live. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant, Ju. If you design it right, it won't be an issue. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I'm going to end this now. I need to I need to take care about certain human issues, and I hope that we will repeat that soon. Thanks for joining my first live stream. We made history together, friends, and I hope I see you next live stream. I will leave the chat open. I hope that will still work, and hope to see you soon. I'll see you on bands. I'm waiting a little bit just so you can still write in the chat and I can read it. I will not be gone, but I will switch off video and audio for now. And again, say thank you for joining the live stream. See you soon. Bye bye. So One last question. Will you be on the ham radio event next year, 2023? Probably. Oh my God, I forgot to wish you a Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Bye bye.